Hi, I'm Amy Schiebel, a professor of science at Edgewood College in Madison, Wisconsin, and I direct our Office of Science Outreach. Today is a beautiful day, and it's the kind of day that if these were normal times, you'd be sending your kids outside to play. For some of you, you can still do that. Others of you, you have to keep your kids inside. You don't have a lot of space that they can roam around by themselves. So you could just say, go look out a window. I used to do that to my children on long trips. I'd say, look out the window and think deep thoughts. But that doesn't always go over real big. So what we're going to do today is a little activity to give some structure to that looking out the window or observing. You could certainly do this outside, but you can also just do it from a window. So there's a wonderful group called Partners in Place, and they do these things called wheels of time and place. And I'm going to show you one here that they made. And you can see it's a wheel. It's nothing terribly complicated. But what you draw on it, what you add to it, the information you put on it, helps you to record different observations. In this one, it is looking at the Yahara watershed. That's what's in the center. And then they're looking at different trees as we go through different months. So we're going to make something similar to that. You can go to their website, partnersinplace.com. And yes, partnersinplace.com. And you can order templates. They're big, beautiful ones. If you want to make a big one, you could do it on the back of wrapping paper if you don't have something. But what I have in my house these days is printer paper. So we're going to make one on printer paper, and then we'll talk just a little bit about the kinds of things that your children can do with it. So I needed to make a circle, and I was looking at my dinner plates. Dinner plates were too big, but this luncheon size plate makes just a lovely circle on here. So just put your plate, or again, might be something in your Tupperware drawer. Make a circle. There I have my circle. So now we want to divide it into equal parts. And if I'm working with children right now, I probably want to do something where they look at things at least daily. You could also divide this into maybe 8 or 9 hours, and you make one of these wheels for a day. I'm going to divide mine into 7 pieces. So the first thing I have to do is find the center of my circle. We're going to do a little math here, a little geometry. You could do this if you have older children in the house. This is a good little geometry lesson for them. So I drew my circle and then just one line to the edge, and that's going to be the line I start with. Now you get this little thing. Remember this from school? A protractor, and it helps you measure angles. So there are 360 degrees in a full circle. If I was dividing this into 8, that would be simple. I could just cut it like I do a pie. But 7 is a little different. So you could just do this by eye. It doesn't have to be exactly perfect. But if you want to get a little math lesson in there, we divide 360 by 7. And what we come up with was 51.4. This is a little difficult to do point anything on, so I'm going to be a little sloppy with it. So to do this, just reminder on how to measure angles, you would put I'm doing this backwards, put this center here, this little dot on the center dot there, and then the line goes on your line, and now you're going to count up until you find the 54 and make a little dot. Or 51.4. So I'm going to do that somewhere between 51 and 52. There I have my dot. Then I'm going to connect the circle in the center that marked the center with my dot. And now I have my first of 7 wedges. Then I'm going to lay this on here, but use this line to measure. And now I'll measure again up to my somewhere between 51 and 52. Make a dot. And connect that dot with the center and draw it out to the edge. And you just keep doing this all the way around the circle until you get 7 of them. So if you wanted to do it for hours or for whatever you want, just make that number of little wedges. Then in the center, you draw a circle. Draw a circle. And then erase all of those lines that went into the circle. This is where you draw a picture that represents sort of the entirety of what you're looking at. So you would put something in the center that represents what you're looking at. I made one as an example. When I'm sitting here at my kitchen counter and looking out the back doors, I have some bird feeders, and I have a suet feeder and a hopper feeder that I put black oil sunflower seeds, and a Niger thistle seed feeder, and that attracts different kinds of birds. So I decided to make one about the birds that I'm seeing as the seasons change here. You will see why I'm a scientist and not an artist. But what I put in the center is a picture of sort of my bird feeders hanging there in the woods they're in. This one, I went on a walk, so I drew those first robins that I saw, and I saw a cardinal. My robin looks like a thug. And a black-capped chickadee. And then another thing I noticed the next day is that the American goldfinches, they seem to get dull during the winter, and now in spring the males start to get all colorful. So you can see that another thing that I did here is I drew some inner rings. And I wrote Sunday, Monday, Tuesday into those. And then I left myself another space for writing some observations in here. So you can customize these wheels however you like. You can write on them, you can color on them, you can draw pictures if you have real small children, focusing just on the pictures. Obviously, as children get older, you can have them do more of the writing and more of the observations. So it is completely flexible. You can do whatever you want, but it's a lovely way to have children sit in one place every day, maybe multiple times a day, and just observe very carefully and then record what they observe. If you can go outside, some wonderful things are happening outside right now. I noticed that all of my daffodils are starting to kind of poke up. You could measure those either using a ruler if they're slightly older children, or you could use any of those sort of counters like we talked about in one of the previous videos to measure length. So have fun with Wheels of Time and Place. Here I put partners, Wheels of Time and Place, and then this is the website if you want to go to their website and get more inspiration and more information. But have fun making observations and working on your wheels.